My new book, Facts That Aren't True, is out now. Don't forget about my other book, Rational Answers to Stupid Questions.
So why does the Bible suck?
Do you think a woman should have to be forced to marry her rapist?
Yeah, so I think contextually with what the
No. Yes or no?
No. God,
Okay,
no.
then why did God say that's what you should do?
Where in the Bible is that said?
It's said. Here's a better question. Who said it? God.
No, I mean I think that's the misconception where the prophets are speaking. I mean, he does talk about in the Old Testament on the regard of knowing a woman. But never does it say that they should marry their rapist.
Yes, it does.
Okay,
And they have to pay the father 50 shekels.
Pull it up. And then my question.
So, where did you get your degree in the Bible from if you don't know this?
My guy, there's 66 books accounted for in the Bible.
I don't have a degree and I know this. So, I don't know.
I have over 25 scriptures memorized. I have contextually over 30 different lectures studied. We do what we call an exegetical on every book. It's over 15 to 14 pages of deep study, peer-to-peer scholarly reviews. No one's going to have verses memorized. I'm assuming you're going to pull it up from the Old Testament.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. God said it.
Yeah, but...
But?
Yeah, no. You have to read the books contextually. So let's dive in.
There's no context where it's okay to force a woman to marry her rapist.
Let's pull up the scripture and let's talk about it.
Yes or no? There's no context where it's okay to force a woman to marry her rapist.
Contextually, God wouldn't approve of that 100%.
Then why did he?
That's sin. No. So okay. So if you're referencing a scripture that you don't want to pull up, that we can dive.
No, I've got it pulled up. I'm just the thing is, from what I've learned is you have to make people take a position before you show them the evidence so that you can prove that they contradict themselves. I don't want to give you the evidence and then have you in real time come up with your argument and formulate your position. So I want to know what your position is before we do this.
Sure. So if rape is sin and the Bible talks about that clearly, then no, God does not want a rapist to marry their rapist. That's
then why did he do that?
With the shekels and with what happened in that context, I have to have the scripture.
There is no context where it's okay.
Where there's no your proposition that.
No, this is according to you. I asked you.
Yeah, no. Yeah, that's a no.
So then why did God do it if it's not okay?
God did it? Did God have sex and rape a woman?
No, he commanded that this is what you will do.
Okay. Let me move forward from this conversation.
No, we're not going to do that. So here's the verse. If a man meets a virgin who is not pledged to be married and rapes her and they are discovered, he shall pay her father 50 shekels of silver. He must marry the young woman, for he has violated her. He can never divorce her as long as he lives.
What scripture exactly?
Deuteronomy 22. Starts at verse 28.
Deuteronomy 22. Can you continue the scripture?
There's only one sentence left, and it says, a man can't marry his father's wife.
A man can't marry his father's wife. Can you read the scripture before?
I just did.
No, can you... So, not just that specific one, but the entire chapter.
It's literally a series of... So, midway through, it goes over marriage violations and says all these things. For example, if a man... violates a woman who is married, then you gotta stone the man to death. If he violates a woman who is married, but they both consent to it, then you stone them both to death. This one is specific. If she is a virgin and she hasn't been pledged to be married yet, then after he violates her, he has to pay the dad 50 shekels of silver. They're forced to be married and they can never split.
Okay, so the specific word that says rape, it says rape, right?
Yeah, R-A-P-E-S.
Okay, so let's look up what the ancient Hebrew says.
What makes
rape.
you think that the scholars who put this together know less than you do? What makes you think that they put the wrong word in there?
It actually happens quite often, and I think this is what separates other pastors from a lot of people, is that we dive into the actual translation. So it's a good food for thought across the board. Let's look up what the Hebrew says, because it could be mistranslated, and I'm not going to deny that there's mistranslations.
Don't you know how to do this?
We're doing it together, buddy.
So you simply will not believe that this verse is correct because it would be wrong if it was. So if we find out that it is correct, what will you do then?
Yeah, so the common practice, like when we come across stuff like this, is not only to look up the ancient Hebrew, but to study the historical context. And that takes...
So then you're just going to say it was okay for that time and place.
No, I mean, if you read throughout the Bible, God would actually, like, not like that, period. I mean, Jesus says that if you commit adultery, that's the greatest sin. So much so that it's better for someone with, like, concrete to, like, basically, like, the judgment on adultery and rape is it's horrible. It's like he mentions it as if it would be worse to basically drown.
Yeah. Okay.
The punishment is like drowning. Like it's so, but I mean, yeah, no. I mean, the Bible consistently promotes like monogamy. So let's dive into it, brother. Let's learn the Bible in a way that expands your knowledge, your viewers' knowledge, and let's look up the Hebrew. But you want to study historical context. You want to know.
No, it's always wrong to force a woman to marry her rapist. So I don't care what year it was. I don't give two shits of a fuck what year it was.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I get that. I'm there with you.
Okay, then stop saying let's study the historical context.
Yeah, but there's so much into this that it can go. Like it could be the fact that in that time, you know,
Jesus fucking Christ. Yeah, no, you're right. It doesn't matter what year it was. It wasn't okay. But the times and the places. Fucking Kamala Harris over here. We got to remember the times and the times and the times.
For us at every moment in time, and certainly this one, to see the moment in time in which we exist and are present, and to be able to contextualize it, to understand where we exist in the history and in the moment as it relates not only to the past but the future.
That's not what I'm saying. What's your name? Is it Peterson?
Sure.
Peterson? Planet Peterson? Peterson, bro. Okay, let me give you some some feedback. Okay?
I'm not interested at all. So, do you know what Wesakab means? I have no clue how to pronounce this.
And that's the ancient Hebrew?
Apparently.
And what's the definition on that?
In English?
Yeah.
And lies.
And lies?
Yeah, and lies.
Interesting. So Wasakab means and lies, but it's replaced for the word rape.
That's because before that it says, and he seizes her.
Ooh. You see where that's turning? I see where that's turning. And he sees her.
No, seizes her.
And
Siezes.
her.
Sounds really consensual, doesn't it? He seizes her and then lies with her.
Okay, so context in the era. There was a time, obviously, where women were traded for
Okay.
marriage.
Goodbye.
Don't goodbye me.